Finders keepers.
Okay.
Rate the location.
New location. Who dis? We've got chamomile tea with us because the last time we tried to record didn't go too well. Boo. Okay. It's 5 p.m. and it's pitch black outside. Make it make sense, guys. I mean, the clocks went back yesterday, so back, forward, back. The clocks went.
Does it really matter?
Yeah.
We got an extra hour of sleep.
We got an extra hour of sleep, so they
which
went
means they're back.
backwards. Hello, Munchkins, and welcome to the Alova Chat podcast. You're here with Arena
And Agnesa.
and this is episode 9, Programmed to Perform. Anyways, quick little overview. Not really much to add from last week's, to be honest with you. Been the same, been a bit iffy, but we're getting back into it. Held a 0.5 second planche today, tuck planche. It was 0.5 seconds, and it was held. My feet came off the ground.
No.
Yeah. Overview of your sessions?
Was that your overview? The 0.5 second planche you did like 5 minutes ago. My overview, nothing new to be fair. Just trying to get into trying to find my routine, trying to find a nice balance. Uni stuff is piling up. I'm falling behind. Let's get it.
Shut up.
Shut up.
So, actually, quick overview. This episode is about routines and programs. It's quite relevant to us right now because we're trying to get back into the routine, especially with Agnes's uni actually having established itself in her life.
Guys, I'm 5 weeks in, but it's hard, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think the first few weeks count anyways because it's freshers week, then it's the introductory week, then you're just getting into the flow of things and then you need a few weeks to stabilize. So we're getting into the routines. Back to school.
It's back to school. It's back to school season.
Why we're doing this episode. Yeah. Top 3 things that made our routines stronger to kick us off with. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I can try.
Go ahead, girl.
I don't think I have 3 things. I can't lie to you. I don't think I can think of 3 things. I'll kick you off with a good one. This is kind of basic, but what's the question again? Just so I can clearly answer the question.
Your top 3 things that made your routine stronger, whether that be in gymnastics or now.
Oh, yeah. Mine is literally just scheduling in a time for everything. Literally time blocking it. Not just putting it on a to-do list or putting it in a list of stuff to do for the day. But actually time blocking it in. Because when we tried to record this episode, we were talking about how if you give yourself a certain amount of time to do something, that's how long it will take you.
Parkinson's law.
Yes.
Parkinson's law.
If you say you're going to clean your house in
2 hours, it will take you 2 hours, basically. The task will fill up the time we've allocated for it.
Yes.
Yes. On that, if you schedule in stuff like meal prep and recovery as well, it will help establish your routine and it'll help your trainings as well.
Yeah.
So getting that
even
in the structure of your day.
Even the small little things that help to build the
sleep.
Small habits that help to build your routine, you should definitely include.
Yeah, I think my top thing, I reckon we do 3 between us.
Yeah.
It makes it easier. Is tracking. I write down an entire. I don't know how to describe it. I kind of map it out. I make a grid, like an Excel sheet, but on paper because I need to be writing it in order for my brain to process what I've tracked. And it'll be training that I've done that day, like even the little things like how much sleep I've got, my steps, even things that aren't to do with trainings, like how much work I've done in the day, how long I've read, how long I've practiced piano, whatever it is that I'm focusing on that period of time, I'll track it every day. And it kind of helps you see a visual, and it also helps you consider the other factors that aren't training and how they impact, whether that's your weight that you're tracking or how your food fluctuates throughout the weeks and stuff. So it helps with the visual. If you want to do it on Excel, go for it, it's your choice. You can do graphs for it as well, which I find is kind of cool. I'm gonna stop being unique, but if you're a visual learner,
yes, may I offer a counterpoint?
yes,
See, I think that's a very good approach to it, especially with the stuff like you were saying that you don't usually consider like training or something like sleep, for example. But I'd like to offer a counterpoint. Me personally, I don't like to do that kind of stuff because I feel like that kind of makes me get in my head too much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for example, I'd rather just like take it as I feel. Not to say that I won't do things I have to do, but or like stick to plans, but I just find that sometimes when everything's too over calculated for me, it gets a little bit overwhelming and a little bit like, oh, because I haven't done this, like everything is bad.
To each their own.
Each to their own.
That one. The opposite. I find that if I time block my day, nothing gets done. I procrastinate too much over that. So I prefer to-do lists because that way I can do it in whatever order I want, but it will just be ticked off.
Yeah, but these are just like ideas. I feel like you got to play around with kind of what works for you.
Yeah. Third thing that made routines stronger. You know what? I reckon having accountability.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Someone or something to hold you accountable, whether that's like daily reminders. The tracking does help keep you accountable because you're writing it down and you're like filling stuff in so you see it getting fuller. Having an accountability person, I reckon it was easier with gymnastics because you went to the trainings, like your parents took you to the trainings. You didn't really have a choice, so it's a lot more efficient in a sport where you train by yourself, I think. I'm going to move on. The question I have for you, Agnesa, is do routines and programs make you feel more grounded or more restricted?
What a question. I feel like this is kind of similar to what we were talking about, like tracking in a sense. And honestly, I can't decide. I like having routines and programs, like to structure my days. But I think when it comes down to like every little detail, it makes me feel a little bit restricted. So like obviously I'm the type of person who I'm not easygoing at all.
She doesn't go with the flow. She goes against it.
I go against the flow. I like to have very structured days. It becomes a little bit too overwhelming when it's like everything to like the single detail.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I reckon they make me feel more grounded. I feel like this is kind of coming back to like the thriving of pressure. I thrive, can't speak anymore, thrive when I have lots of things to do. So a routine or having consistent factors in my days and in my weeks helps me a lot because they're kind of like checkpoints for me in the day.
Yeah.
Like I don't like having a full day where it's kind of free flowing and you don't have anything, but unless it's more like a routine where I've not managed to fit everything in, then I'll feel restricted. Like if not everything that I'd like to get done in the day can be fit, then I'll feel restricted.
Yeah. But is it like restricted or like kind of stressed out a little?
Restricted. Because it's more like I don't have time.
Oh, like you're restricted for time?
Yes.
I'm with you. I thought you kind of meant like restricted in a sense that like you can't like restricted like creatively or like in that kind of sense, because that's why I don't really like tracking and stuff like that. Or like with my training, I'm not like crazy, like it's not crazy programmed, because I feel like then I can't really explore skills and stuff like that. Do you get what I mean?
I get that. That actually goes on to one of the next questions is,
Oh, goody.
do you think programming reflects individuality, or is it more about consistency and result?
Both.
I was going to say it's dependent, because I think the purpose of a program is to ensure consistency in the result, but the way that the program is written reflects your individuality and what you want to focus on, because there's separate blocks where a lot of programs are done block-wise.
Yeah.
I think it's different in sports like gymnastics, which actually links to another point that I was going to make, was we may as well talk about this now, but do you think that all sports should be programmed?
I don't I don't know that much about other sports, if I'm completely honest. I don't think there's a necessity for every I think again it depends like what kind of level you're training at, what kind of things you want to achieve. It's very personal.
Yeah.
But like I'm trying to think like in our gymnastics,
There wasn't really a program.
how much of it was programmed. Like we had the way we set out our trainings and
I was
stuff,
going to say there was a structure to training,
but nothing like, for example, powerlifting.
Yeah, I think it's very dependent on the style of sport, because with gymnastics it's very difficult to measure output, if that makes sense, because it is very skill based and it's your whole routine. It's like a dance. You're not going to progress as structured as, say, powerlifting.
Yeah, I think powerlifting is literally just a lot more programmed, because I'm thinking now of like ballet, for example.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like we did have programs. We had like the syllabus that we worked for like each grade, but like it wasn't like after every single training we'd be like, oh, we did this amount of this amount of that. It wasn't that.
I don't think programming needs to feel. It's more so like a structure to I think it's more so a structure to not only the day trainings, like day-to-day trainings, but rather a more broader overview of weeks and months of training. Because in gymnastics we didn't really have like, you had checkpoints regarding competitions, like big competitions, you knew like the time frame when they'd be, but you didn't really have a method of working towards that, if that made sense. That you just made.
I don't know. I feel like I kind of did.
In what sense?
Did kind of have like specific goals for like the month, for example. They weren't like official targets I needed to hit, but they were goals.
So, do you think that rest should be scheduled or intuitive?
Okay, see, the problem is I get when people are like intuitive with their things, but if I listened to my intuition, nothing would get done. Intuitively, if I could rest all the time, I would. I don't know.
I think it's really difficult.
But maybe that, sorry,
no,
maybe that just is because I'm so like tired all the time, because I don't schedule in the rest.
Yeah, I mean that's what it could be. But also I was going to say, not everyone has intuition, or not everyone has.
Speaking from experience,
not everyone has a well-established intuition that is trustworthy. In the sense that I feel like intuition is a skill that needs to be developed. People do have it, just come naturally to them. But I think when people say like, oh, intuitively eat, intuitively train,
I feel like that's...
What does one mean by that? What do you mean by intuition?
Yeah, it's way harder said than done.
Yeah, because...
No, done. What's that? Is
easier said than done.
Easier said than done, sorry.
Because intuition is essentially your feeling. If you feel like you don't want to train, but your body feels fine and you are capable of training, go train. That's just you being weak. Who's gonna carry the boats?
So-
No, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I completely agree with you, which is why
it's you just being lazy.
That's what I'm saying. If I trusted my intuition to rest, I would not do anything.
So I think that rest should be scheduled in, because I feel like your body will be able to adapt better to that rather than it being intuitive and sporadic. Because then your body will crave. I reckon if you do it intuitively, your body will crave rest more than if you schedule it in. If that makes sense.
I don't know.
That's just my thoughts and feelings.
Yeah. But that being
it's
said,
not backed by science. This disclaim. I had to disclaim it because
okay,
I don't need people to come at me.
But that being said, like, if your body is feeling, you do have to kind of listen to your body. If your body is feeling a certain way, like, you just know that you have to give yourself a rest. That's what I'm kind of saying. Like, there's got to be a balance, because that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, I do kind of, when I train, I do kind of like going with the way my body feels that day, adapt to it. Do you know what I mean? I guess that's not really talking about rest right now, but
yeah,
it's hard to find.
But I don't really agree. I get it, but I also feel like resting when you feel like your body needs rest, I feel like your mind plays a lot of tricks on you and you'll feel like you need rest but you don't actually, and you can push through it. I feel like there are limits to that, where if you're injured you need to learn to rest.
I can't lie, you're not the best example at this. You'll be like hanging on by a thread, like in a fever, and you'll be like, right guys, I'm off to the gym. I feel like there's a boundary.
Yeah, so moral of the story is I've not learned to be intuitive with my rest. And I think scheduling in recovery is as important as scheduling in your training sessions. You train and then you just go home and sit all day.
Yeah.
That's not going to be beneficial to you in the long run. Oh, and nutrition, obviously.
Some say rest is, I mean, this is not necessarily physically, but like you don't have to be like laying down, like watching TV to rest. You just have to be doing a different activity.
Yeah. Let's move swiftly on to the next. How do you balance listening to your body with sticking to the program? Like, how would you balance it? Because we've spoken a lot about you have to be intuitive.
Yeah.
But you also have to not be lazy. But how do you do that? Like, do you have any strategies or any tips that have helped you? Or have heard of any?
I'll be honest, not really. But I mean, I guess the way I think of it is like, is to give an example. Let's just say I'm training and I like don't feel my best. I think, oh, like, how is this going to impact me short term? How is this going to impact me long term? Am I going to push through like pain in my body? Is this going to give me an injury, or like, is it actually just, do I just need to push through it a little?
The way I'd go about it is through the tracking. Because if you've noticed patterns in your training because when you track, you essentially collect data about yourself. And if you can notice patterns where, say, you had like 3 hours of sleep the night before, and you see how your training is impacted in the past, and you see that it's not beneficial for you to go and train, then don't go and train. So it's kind of like structured intuition based on historic data.
Evidence-based
intuition. Yeah. Which is the way I'd go about it. It's tricky to keep doing it every day because sometimes, you forget. And you need to describe how you feel on your trainings. Especially when it's like a bad training, you don't really want to write that down sometimes, I find. Like, you don't want to reiterate the fact that you had a bad training.
Yeah, or like you can see consistently that your sleep has been like abysmal. And you're just like writing down your failures.
But it's helpful to know in the long run.
Yeah.
Because it then gives you a database to work from in the future. So it's worth it. It's just some days you're going to look back at it and you're going to be like, oh, this has been a really bad month. That's okay, because then you can look back and you're like, oh, but I've had 5 good months.
It's only temporary, guys.
Pain is temporary.
And progress is not linear.
Okay.
Check out that episode.
Okay. What happens with you when a plan changes? For example, if there's injury, travel, or like any unexpected events. So what
happened with me?
What
I don't know. What
happens to your routine? What do you think about? How do you go about adapting to it from those perspectives?
Obviously, like some of the things that I try to build into my routine, I aim for them to be like lifestyle changes. So, like, why would I really change my lifestyle? Let's say because I'm on holiday. That being said, I try not to like put too much pressure on myself, especially like for example on holiday, because at the end of the day, like it is life. You just want to enjoy it.
I try to adapt my program as much as I can when I'm traveling because, yeah, like you said, enjoy your life, but it is something that I enjoy doing anyways. And I'd rather progress be a bit slower throughout the holidays, but I still keep at it than completely let it go.
I'm not saying completely let it go. I feel like that's an extreme.
There are ways to get your protein in. You can eat tuna from a lid.
If you feel the need to have to go off your like program or lifestyle changes so drastically when you're on holiday, maybe you're not doing it right in the first place. Is that wrong to say?
I don't think it's wrong to say. I think it just depends where you are in your training goals.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be periods of time where your training is intense and you swaying from it is going to impact it, especially when you're prepping for comp. So I think it just depends what time period you are traveling in.
The current time
1980s, 1800s, Roman times.
The Romans weren't around in the 1800s.
No, it was Tuesday. It was separated by a comma.
Oh.
What about when you encounter an injury? Hello, injury. Hello, Agnesa. Pew pew.
Sorry, I thought it switched off because I can see the recording in the reflection, but I thought it switched off. I was like, oh no. Is it wrong to say I don't adapt? Like, thankfully I haven't really had crazy injuries. Okay, like sometimes my wrists and elbows will be in so much pain, but like injury wise, my main injury was my hip when I did gymnastics, and I didn't adapt. I went to
you couldn't really adapt because you just couldn't move.
Well, yeah, I before I had to physically stop everything, I went to training, came back crawling into the car. Like, unfortunately, I didn't really adapt. So maybe you answer this question because you currently have an injury.
Yes, I've just changed exercises. Well, right now I've changed my method of training, so I'm on a bodybuilding block, which is kind of due to the injury because I was doing a powerlifting program with a hip injury, which meant that I wasn't squatting and my deadlifting was really iffy, and then I couldn't do a lot of accessories for the squats, and that just meant moving around what exercises I did, focusing more on bench. But it is difficult to get your head around because for me it felt really half-hearted, the trainings in the powerlifting program. So I've changed my method of training. I'm still training with weights, but it's more so like a bodybuilding style. So I'm still giving my muscles a stimulus, just in a different way, and in a way where squatting isn't the main focus, because with powerlifting obviously it's squat, bench, deadlift. So 2 out of the 3 movements are impacted by my injury, and the focus of the program is those movements, whereas with the bodybuilding one you can target your muscles rather than the movement, if that makes sense. So it's just switching parts of your training just to accommodate to the injury, staying off movements that hurt it, obviously, but trying to also strengthen the muscles around the injury and the mobility. Mobility has actually been a lot more present in my trainings recently since my injury.
Yeah.
And recovery as well. I've noticed the importance of recovery. I think that's kind of sums up the main section. There's not much to say about routines, but I do think they are really important in general. I think they are a significant part of why you get a result from your training.
Yeah, but I also don't feel like you must have a routine. If you're doing sport,
I think structure rather than routine.
I don't know, but let's say like, sorry, I think on the floor is actually something else. What would you say to like people who do sport recreationally? Like maybe one day they'll go like play tennis, maybe another day they'll go for a jog, but like they just do it because they want to move their body, not because they want to like, not because they have any like crazy goals in mind. They do it just because they love it, or just because they want to.
Well, in that case, this doesn't really apply to you then, does it?
Why are you watching this podcast?
Because no, well, yeah, because this podcast is tailored to those who take sports seriously.
Not only, well, we have to broaden our audience.
Not necessarily.
Okay, should we just cap it at 45 subscribers then? Is that what you're saying?
One more spot.
Guys,
one spot left. Going fast.
We'll pay you to subscribe.
No, because it like that's a different world, in my opinion. People who do it for the sake of just moving their body, in my opinion, that's not who we're tailoring to.
It's not,
and it's not who I relate to. Business perspective.
From business perspective.
Well, you need a niche.
Guys, if you're not in the niche, get out. Arena said it. she said it. There's only 5 spots left to subscribe.
You do raise a good point.
You just can't say anything positive about it. Well, if you're asking for my opinion, I feel like a very individualistic approach, and I think your outlook on sport, everyone's outlook on sport is like very different, and I think finding a balance that works for yourself is key. Like,
I recognize it.
For the arenas of the world, like, yeah, get on a program. Why are you moving your ears like?
Moving my ear?
Yeah.
I'm talking. My ears are on a program. I do get what you're saying. I'm just trying to think of something not offensive to say. From my perspective, we're talking to doing it for the sake of just fitness. And fine, this doesn't apply to you. Yeah, I agree. There's not really a point of having a because you're not really on a program then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, like routine too.
But you said, what do you have to say to that? I don't really. I'm struggling to discuss.
Okay, well, I've discussed it.
Okay, we apologise. It's just
I didn't say anything.
I apologise. It's just not.
It's difficult for you to. I think it is. I think it's difficult for you to imagine yourself doing that because you've literally never done that in your life. Like taken sport recreationally programmed.
Let us know in DMs or comments how you go about it if you do it recreationally. We're gonna have our sister on soon, so we'll get another perspective because she does it recreationally. So I apologise for my ignorance and my lack of understanding and being able to formulate an opinion about this. I'm not managing to today. Anyways, moving on to the cool down section. We've got a little would you rather. Okay, would you rather follow a perfectly periodized program for a year, or be allowed to train purely by feel with no structure but full motivation?
Be able to train with no structure but full motivation.
But having full motivation doesn't mean consistency. Like, you could be motivated to train, but you just don't train.
Okay, but even if it was unstructured, I'd still want to train. This is me personally.
Fair. I'd prefer to follow a perfectly periodized program.
Who would have guessed?
Would you rather master your pre-performance routine or your post-performance recovery routine?
Pre-performance routine. I gotta get that down. I can't. And I find it very difficult.
Yeah, fair. I'd rather post-performance because then that way you work long term, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Because if you recover well, then like the onset from that into your training will be better and you'll feel more prepared in general,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
I just feel like I gotta nail the pre-comp routine.
No, that's valid.
In order to have a successful post-comp recovery. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Would you rather have your coach micromanage every session or give you total freedom and no feedback until the end of the block or like the end of 6 months?
Micromanage me, please.
Yeah. Micromanage me because otherwise, why are you a coach? Would you rather always know why something is in your program or always feel that it is working even if you don't know why?
I'd want to know why.
It's in your program.
Yeah.
Rather than not knowing why it's working, but knowing
Yeah.
it's working. I agree with that. I'd rather have the information.
Maybe a surprise would be nice, but I think I'd rather know.
Yes. Would you rather stick to one trusted method or experiment with new approaches every 4 weeks?
I don't know. I would say like explore, but because I like a bit of diversity in my training, but at the same time, if it's the trusted method, it works. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But my question is this trusted method based on your progress, or just based on like a trusted method to the general public? Because if so, I'd want to experiment. Say I'm at the start and there's no looming competitions or anything important regarding the sport. I'd want to experiment and see if there's anything that works better than that trusted method.
Yeah. Okay.
And
yeah.
then stick to that. Would you rather? We're moving on to less so. Oh, it doesn't matter. Would you rather?
It doesn't matter, guys. Just watch it.
Would you rather drink cold coffee for life or forget your water bottle each session?
You're asking me. Cold coffee for life.
I'd rather forget my water bottle each session because coffee is just.
Oh, I don't drink water, so
That's fair because also
water.
you can have energy drinks. You can buy water there.
Oh.
You can fill up.
Oh, okay,
you
okay.
You can have water from the water fountain.
Get a load of this guy. I don't know. Cold coffee kind of slaps. So
yeah, but not. It slaps sometimes.
Okay, fine. I'd rather nothing.
I'd drink water from a water fountain if that meant I could have warm coffee. Would you rather have a routine so strict it ruins your social life, or so flexible it ruins your games? I can't lie. I don't have a social. So nothing can ruin that.
I am your social. This podcast is a social life. 45 subscribers. You're her friends.
Thanks, guys.
Shoot her. Well, the flip.
I can't lie. My social life is going to the gym and going to trainings.
That's fair. You can have friends at the gym.
So my social life isn't buzzing for me to have it ruined. And I'm perfectly okay with.
She has online friends.
No, I have my certified friends, 5 of them, that.
Some of you didn't make the cut.
No, like 5 certified friends. That.
Do you want to name them?
No, I'm not naming names. The thing is, if you have good enough friends, they'll understand, especially if your routine is strict and you'll make it work. It's not going to ruin your social plans if you've communicated that to the people around you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So flexible it ruins your gains? No.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it to ruin the gains. Like, I want the gains. I was going to say something about social life. Yeah, I think having friends that understand your training needs is so important. I feel like if they're your good friends, they'll get it.
Yeah. Would you rather, if you had a sports watch, your watch always say you're under-rested or your coach say you're mentally soft?
Your watch say you're under-rested.
So would basically...
Yeah, I'd rather my watch tell me
would you rather be under-rested or
what, a watch telling
mentally
you
weak?
Oh. This is a watch.
No, but just in the concept of, would you rather be... Ignore the watch, ignore the coach. Would you rather be under-rested or mentally weak?
Prob's under-rested.
Yeah, I am under-rested. So, our phone died mid-recording. She looks so depressed.
I feel partially responsible.
It doesn't matter. So, we've had to cut it short. And this is the outro you're getting.
Guys, we have more funny would you rather questions for next time. Should we ask them to give us would you rather questions?
Give us would you rather questions. We'll put it up.
We'll put it up on our story.
But thank you so much for listening. We don't know if we rate... I don't rate this setup because my butt hurts from sitting so much.
Yeah, same. I don't rate it.
I rate the one upstairs the most.
Yeah, but can we just not sit so far apart?
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys. We hope you enjoyed. We know that it wasn't the most entertaining of episodes, but it is what it is.
Okay, peace. Love you guys. What the hell? Bye.
Bye, munchkins.